So we were going to have voices, but my iPad didn't record any of them. What I'm showing you right here is the Simple Interval Trainer, and you should download that app so you can use it. Margaret was stretching in the background, and they're getting ready to do their 3-minute warm-up. It's a 3-minute warm-up on each side, so she's doing her on side, Abby's doing the left side, and then after 3 minutes, they'll turn around and paddle for 3 minutes the other way. This drill, what they're doing is 15 strokes where they're over-exaggerating the reach. And so they're reaching beyond their toes for 15 strokes. And then after they do that, they're going to do a draw and a back paddle. And for the second part, the second 15 strokes, they're doing short strokes. And here, you're able to do a quick return, but notice that Margaret especially is not reaching or extending her arm, but she's getting her blade all the way in the water. It's a quicker stroke. After these 15 strokes, they'll go back and do a draw and a back paddle. For the last set of 15, you're just going to kind of reach out to what you feel like is a normal stroke length. You're still reaching, you're still twisting, you're still sinking your blade, but it's just that last 15 strokes where you're just kind of going into what feels normal. So just as a side note, take a look at Abby's shirt. It says the future is female, and I'm so sorry that the volume didn't work on my iPad, Abby. So what Abby is showing you is the things that she wants you to work on, and I want you to work on, which is sinking your blade all the way down and then bringing your blade about mid-thigh. You kind of have to over-exaggerate it. She also wants you to keep the blade close to the pool wall. That helps you keep your paddle straight up and down so that you're using the entire face of the blade for the entire stroke. There she was showing you about like the twist and like the reach, like really just overextending, almost hyperextending your bottom arm. And using your top arm, for her right arm, as kind of a lever to push that blade down in the water. I call it chopping babies' heads off. Don't kill me. But yeah. Margaret is going to demonstrate what a quick return looks like. A lot of times, especially in the pool, we get kind of lazy on the return, and I think it's something that you guys really need to focus on. So when you do your return, you have to really pop that paddle out quickly and then reset quickly. So you're engaging your body in what we usually think of as a rest time. I had to reorder these videos for it to make sense. So the next drill was to do 3 sets of 30 seconds. You're going to repeat it 5 times. The first 30 seconds, you're really going to be focusing on what your paddle is doing in the water. So these girls are likely focusing on sinking their blade, their reach, and keeping their paddle straight up and down, or keeping that blade close to the wall. So this was really funny for me because it's something I've just started doing, and I'm using a metronome here so that they can have a visual or my voice to pop it out. And you're going to see Margaret really work on her return. Did you see how it changed? And so that's what this second 30 seconds is for. Not necessarily for your paddle in the water, but keeping a pace with a quick return. And it's kind of hard to get used to, and maybe some day we'll get used to it again, and that's me messing up. So for the last 30 seconds, you're going to put those two things together. You're going to think about both of those things. You're going to think about what your paddle is doing in the water and having a quick return. So it's kind of like putting together the two things that you just practiced on. A lot of pool paddling is mental focus, and so a lot of this stuff doesn't really look like they're doing anything that much different. But they are, at least their minds are. last drill was to do 4 sets of 4-minute paddles, and what I did was I set my my watch to repeat timer go off at 1 minute, and every 1 minute that the timer went off, we increased our pace, like what Margaret's doing right now for 10 strokes, and then we kind of settled back down into a little bit slower pace. And I tried to give them visuals too because I'm a dork, but anyways, you can kind of see how they settle back down until a little bit slower pace. It doesn't mean that you're not thinking about everything that you need to do, because you still are. You're still thinking about your reach, especially as you get tired, thinking about your core as you get tired, and thinking about really continuing to sink that blade. But every minute you pick it up for 10 strokes and go really hard as if you're passing a boat mid-race. I really wish that the voice thing worked on my iPad, because Margaret explains it so much better. But your first 2 strokes are really big pulls, 2 really gigantic long pulls to get the boat moving. And then your next 8 strokes are really fast. And a couple of things that Margaret does really nicely is she really extends her bottom arm as you count, like 3, 2, 1, go. And on the 1, you extend your arm and you get that extra reach, and then you pull 2 big pulls and then go straight in to the 8 really fast. And when you first do this, there's probably going to be a lot of splashing, but really they're working on a lot of timing here with each other and getting Abby used to the pace of what starts look like. And I think they did like 8 of those, 8 total, with 8 10-stroke starts. 2 really big pulls followed by 8 fast quick ones.